Are you doing right in your eyes, or are you doing right in God's eyes? So I was reading the Bible today, y'all. I was reading Judges 19, 20, 21. If you've read those, you know those are some hard chapters to read. You listening to it, if you, because I listen to it usually like through an audio, and I was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was like very disturbed because it's one of those chapters that kind of just like, oh my gosh, like, and I've read the Bible. This is my third time. For some reason, I don't know what happened. This, I've never even remember reading this, but this is why I continue to read it, because some things will stick out to you more than others. And this time, this was so heavy for me, y'all. With this chapter, if you have not read it, it's very brutal. It talks about grape, and unaliving and stuff like that. It gets really deep. But one of the important distinctions to take away from Judges is like a lot of people doing what's right in their own eyes. So, they're not doing right in the sight of God's eyes. Like, and you see a lot of this throughout like the Bible too, where it's like, and they did evil in the sight of the Lord, right? So anyways, as I continue to read this, I just start to like break it down and start to like look into it even deeper. And I was like, wow, I'm like, this actually kind of sounds a lot like what we're seeing today. Like, and these people, like, they consulted God, um, but they weren't always following God, and they were doing what was right in their eyes. And so it just, as I started to do an even deeper dive on this, it just brought that question: am I doing right in my own eyes, or am I doing right in God's eyes? And I think it's an important question to ask because, a lot of times we can say that we're in Christ, we can say that we're in God, but are we really? Are we going to God for every single thing? And I am even guilty of not always going to God first and, making a decision and then asking God second. Like, so that's something that I even still try to work on myself. But this is why I always point everyone back to Galatians 5. And I do it for myself. I have it on my board over here. Like, I always have to look at it because I'm like, all right, what are the fruits of the Spirit? What it's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. This is what it means to do right in God's eyes and not our own. When we're doing right in our own, we're leading from the works of the flesh, from a fleshly place, from a world view. And so when you ask yourself this question, you really want to be able to say or see, like, you know what, I am doing right in the sight of God because I'm exhibiting patience, I'm exhibiting love, I'm exhibiting joy, I'm doing things from self-control. Like, this is how we ask ourselves this question, and this is how we answer that question, right? And so, it's not to say that we are perfect, because we are human beings and we're not. But I think Judges just stood out to me because it's so easy to look around us and see everybody who is, doing wrong or, doing stuff like Judges. But I think the most important takeaway here is, how are we exhibiting this in our own lives? How are we being women and men of Christ? Like, are we showing those fruits of the Spirit on a day-to-day basis? Where do we need more fruits of the Spirit at? Where do we need to be praying and asking God, give me more patience, give me more kindness, give me more gentleness, and give me more self-control? Where can we do more of that in our lives? So, if anything, I would say that's the takeaway from Judges. It's a very hard chapter, and it just really stood out to me today. There's just so much sin in that chapter. There's so much of people doing their own things. Like, I talked about Samson the other day, and how Samson, like, chosen by God, knew God had called him, but still did things his own way, and it ended up leading to his fate. So I ask again, are you doing right in the sight of your own eyes, or are you doing right in the sight of God's eyes? How do you know? Go to the fruits of the Spirit in Galatians 5.